Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans. All right, welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Jake.
This is Mac.
And we are here with another interview in the lead up to the North American Sumo Championships in Vegas. Today we've got Kyle Ferriter. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Hanging in there.
Same thing happened the last one. I said, I'm doing great. And Mac is like, I'm fine. Like, well, I guess I'm having a better day than Mac.
Yeah,
So
enough,
far,
right?
It's about to get better because we're going to talk sumo.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, sir.
So, Kyle, you are the reigning open weight championship of the United States. And we wanted to make sure we had you on here because we see you at every tournament, but sounds like this one might be tough for you. I hear you're not going to Vegas this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got an injury a couple of weeks back. I broke my foot and then I ended up pulling my hamstring. So I'm still trying to get to walk again.
Oh man, yeah. So maybe
Ouch.
sumo is not at top of your list.
I mean, I love sumo to death. It's probably my favorite combat sport I compete in. It's just, if I can't give these guys my all, I can't go out there and try to face them when I can barely walk on one leg out of there.
Yeah. Yep. I get it. Yeah. No,
It makes some of the pushing thrusting a little more difficult when you don't have a solid base to go off of.
Oh yeah, man. It's tough. Especially because I'm left leg dominant. I take my tachi with my left step probably 80% of the time. So it's just can't even push it off of it anymore. And it's pretty rough.
Well, I mean, you're a big guy. If it came down to it, you could probably stand there and get a couple wins, but I get it. You know, if you're not at your best, you don't want to be there. I get it, but yeah, so that kind of sucks. Well, what kind of time frame are you looking at? Do you think you'll be back to competing like in the spring or so, maybe?
I'm hoping so. Yeah. If I hadn't gotten this hamstring pull, I would have gone to Vegas. I was just pretty much this Monday was going to be the determining factor of whether I was healthy enough to compete, and still barely being able to walk. It's just, I'll probably be walking pretty well by then and working out again, but I won't be able to go out there and give it 100% for a national championship. So.
Yeah. And it's going to be a tight competition anyways. And, but yeah, I mean, you mentioned earlier, you had plans like for rooming with different guys. We got a pretty solid contingent going out there. I think I'm really optimistic about, how the United States wrestlers are going to go. Who do you, sorry to segue here, but like, I know there isn't like an official club out there in Colorado where you're based, but you're still pretty tight with a lot of the other guys. How do you train? How do you keep in touch with everybody? How's that work for you?
So as far as training goes, I coach a high school wrestling club, and then I compete in Jiu Jitsu. So I try to do a lot of the conditioning and try to tailor it for sumo. I do a lot more leg work, a lot more pushing, a lot more. If you watch a lot of my matches, I don't mind wrestling on the edge of the ring. It's something I learn a lot from my high school kids, is just how to control the edge of the mat there. Keeping in touch with the other wrestlers, though, I think that a big help in that is probably going to be Cornelius Booker. Immediately after my first tournament, which was FitCon of last year, he adds me on Facebook, starts telling me about all these guys that I need to get to know, ends up inviting me down after another tournament or two down to Panama City Beach, where he lives, and basically has a little mini camp for a long weekend with me, Robert Fonamo, Jordan Sykes, and Nick Kleppinger. And all of us just trained for a full weekend. It was a great time.
Nothing but
awesome
heavyweights
guys.
in that lineup. Holy cow. You got some big names there.
Yeah, I think Korn was the only guy that wasn't a heavyweight.
But he's still a
awesome
heavy
wrestler.
hitter. I mean, Korn's got a lot of experience.
Not an
Oh,
official
Korn.
heavyweight, but I'm sure he can
handle
hold
himself.
his own.
Oh, I love Korn to death, but I hate wrestling him, man. He's one of the best guys on the edge of the mat.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, have you been combat sports? That's just been your thing your whole life, or is something more recent?
Actually, no. I didn't start doing anything until my senior year of high school. After football ended my senior year, I wasn't going to college for it or anything, so I just signed up for wrestling. Ended up getting the starting spot that year, ended up going to college, just fell in love with it. Once I finished up at college, I only got a 2-year degree, and I moved back to the Springs and just started finding these wrestling clubs and started helping out there, and just been in love with it ever since.
Gotcha.
So what
Easy,
drew you into? Oh, go ahead.
Just gonna say, yeah, it's an easy gateway drug to go from wrestling to more niche stuff like jiu-jitsu and sumo. I think is like as niche as it gets.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, what drew you into sumo? What
Right.
about it got you into this?
So sumo in particular, it's actually two kind of reasons. I've got my joke answer and I've got my very serious answer.
I'll take
Perfect.
both.
Perfect. Yes.
The joke answer, when I was about 10 years old, I saw Americus Abasamis on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody playing a sumo wrestler. And
No way. I am looking that up.
Yeah, it's I looked it up right before the show. It was back in 2010. It was called like Trouble in Tokyo or something like that. And so that was my first ever introduction to sumo. And I'm one of the few people that's actually gotten to wrestle their introduction, because I got to face Americus down in Austin back in last November.
So cool.
My serious answer, I was looking up the Sumo Open from 2018, and I watched all of them for the last 5 years. I saw Danny Avila's story about how he came in with no experience and then ended up running all the way to the finals and facing guys like Biamba and those great wrestlers. And I was just thinking, I can do that. I got so excited. So I signed up for the 2021. It got canceled. So I ended up just signing up for the next tournament, which was FitCon out in Utah that Kelly Knighting was running, and ended up getting a silver and gold, I believe, or 2 silvers and a gold there. And just fell in love with it ever since. It's the purest form of just, you're either standing or you're not at the end of the mat. You're either in the ring or you're not.
Simple.
So,
Yep.
yeah. And
not easy, but simple.
No,
yeah.
not
Exactly.
easy, but simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
funny.
I can confirm. I just looked it up. Yes, Americus Abasamis, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Wow, I was like, oh my god.
That's funny. Everybody, yeah. I mean, it's kind of cliche, but like, how did you get into sumo? Is like one of our favorite things to ask people, because you get everything.
It's so different. I love it.
If you were a kid in the 90s, you saw Akebono on ESPN, you know, you see sumo wrestling in movies, whatever. Yeah, no, that's really cool. But yeah, so because you have to travel because there isn't like an official sumo club or anything like that, you travel quite a bit. We saw you at the Iron Belly tournament earlier this summer. You were in you went to nationals in Austin. That's where you got that open weight gold. Just talk about traveling a little bit. That seems like a big part of the whole experience for you.
So yeah, I work for a family business, so traveling's pretty able to do it, especially for like these long weekend trips where I'll take off Friday, come back Sunday, and do that. I love it to death. Being 6'5", 350 pounds, the airplane's not the most fun part, but you start learning the tricks after a while of getting the exit row and getting the aisle seats and all that. Yeah, traveling is probably one of my favorite things that I've gotten to do because of the wrestling. Not including sumo, I've gotten to go to Florida a bunch of times for beach wrestling, North Carolina. Texas has tons of stuff. Kansas City has a big tournament every year, preseason nationals. My kids that I coach go there. So it's just awesome getting to see different parts of the country. I'm hoping to, as I get better in all the sports, expand it and go to different parts of the world too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I'm a pretty little guy, and I don't like fitting on airplanes. So
at least you're more compact than me. I have to take.
That's true. Seats. That's true. I know I have it easy, but that doesn't mean that it's a lot of fun. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Didn't you, you also went to Jiu Jitsu Tournament just in the last couple months here too, right?
Yeah. About October 10th, I believe was the date of it. World Championships for Jiu Jitsu No-Gi. Did okay, but obviously I broke my foot during my second match.
I was about to say, not so good. Sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't tap out. It's a submission sport. I was going up against a returning world silver medalist. It happens, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Not going to tap out. He's got to drag you out of there if he wants it, right? Still make.
Oh yeah, I was almost in tears, but I didn't tap.
Dude, that's something that I loved when we watched you at nationals. I loved the competition between you and Mark Jones, and then later on this year, we had a repeat of that. I think I've never screamed so much watching a computer like, oh my God, come on. But I had to stay level, which was what sucked when we were doing the commentary, because I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is so good.
Stay unbiased. Stay unbiased.
This is so bad, because it's like I love seeing you and Mark Jones square off.
Yeah, that seems to be like one of the big heavyweight rivalries. Would you consider him your top competition, or who are the guys that motivate you to get better?
Mark Jones is definitely up there. He's kind of like me. He's very new to the sport of sumo, but he has, in my opinion, the strongest tachi in US sumo. That initial charge that he's got is phenomenal. Him, I'm 1-2 against him. He's got more wins. I just happened to get the win where it counted. So
right.
But he's phenomenal. Love wrestling him. Jose Galindo and Robert Finamo, also great. Got to wrestle both of them multiple times. Robert was my first loss in sumo. Back in the finals. Back in the finals of FitCon. I've got this picture of him picking me up probably 5-6 feet in the air, just above his chest, like nothing. And it's like, I'd never felt physically overpowered until I wrestled him like that.
Yeah. And, the Kubinage. It's like, nope, that's just one of those that just makes you feel so small.
It's never happened in any of my other styles before, because usually I'm the biggest guy. I go in, Robert outweighs me by probably 70 to 100 pounds at that point, and just picks me up on his chest and throws me out of the ring.
Yeah.
It was not used to it.
you might not win every match in every sport, but at the very least, you're not getting outsized like that very often, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. No, yeah, that's funny you bring up that picture. I'd love to see that one, because I wanted to bring up on Instagram, your profile picture is one of my favorite US sumo pictures. It's is that Mark Jones there?
That is Mark. And the funny thing is, so after that tournament, that's the Iron Belly tournament that was taken at. We were all at Karinga's gym. I was staying in town for an extra couple days, and every Sunday they have sumo, and then they go out and do Highland Games practice. So they invited us all out.
That sounds so Karinga.
That sounds amazing, though.
It was awesome. They invited Ryan and I out. We went in, just through all the implements of destruction. You know how it goes. And so Mark and I, that was the first time we ever got to talk, was during that. And real nice guy, real good guy. A couple weeks later, he sends me that picture and he's like, hey, I hate sending you this, but this is one of the coolest pictures I've ever seen. So it's just like, so he sends it to me, and I'm immediately, it's my profile picture on everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, and it's not too bad, because he can always be like, hey, 1 and 2, right?
Exactly. Because he ends up winning, or I think it's 2 and 2, maybe. I don't remember, but it's, I don't have my spreadsheets in front of me.
Yeah.
But he ends up beating me 2 more times that day. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's still a great picture. So.
It's a great picture, though.
Which I will say, I love getting those spreadsheets from you. I love getting all the breakdowns of your matches. It helps us. At least we are spreadsheet junkies. So any kind of data, any kind of stats.
And there isn't a database out there for US sumo. So like guys like you, you keep track of every one of your matches. The one that you sent along, you even like had notes on how it went, not just who you faced and stuff like that. Is that just part of you staying competitive, trying to get better? I really like that idea. But yeah, what does that do for you, like in your training?
So my background's all in, or my background originally was in football, and in football, you watch film every Monday right after your game, right? And so, especially with the traveling, I've got 5-6 hours alone. So I rewatch the whole tournament. I press screen record on my phone of all my personal matches and say, okay, well, I won this one, but it was very, very close. What did I do wrong? Or I lost this, why? And it's, that way I don't have to rewatch the matches and have service and all that while I'm on the plane to actually think about what I'm doing wrong. And I know what I need to work on as I get back.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just notes to yourself, keep them. I also thought it was real cool. It went back and you have like your lifetime record against each of these guys that troubled you. It was a fun
I love
insight.
seeing all the Suridashi though. I just love them, like, yep, won by that one, won by that one, won by that one, lost by Suridashi. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Hello. Sorry, I'm not familiar. What is Suridashi?
I was just
that's the lift out. That's the lift out. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to bring up. The guys in Texas, they're trained by Tom Zabel, the guy who literally wrote the book on the English language book on like all the techniques and stuff. for you, when you're doing training, like you don't necessarily have a guy like Tom there telling you like, this is what this is called. This is what this is called. You mainly focus on your strength and conditioning and stuff, right? But like, where do you get like your technique practice, your technique pointers?
So big influence on that is definitely Robert Funamo. He lives one state away, so we get to talk all the time. When we've trained together, he's the one that really told me how to focus on the belt and everything like that. So I've learned a lot from him. My main coach that I coach within my wrestling club, his name's Gabe Boperthy. He has 18 world medals in different styles of wrestling, just not sumo.
Sure.
Still.
He's number 5 in the world or he was number 5 in the world at belt wrestling, the oldest sport on the planet. And so I learned a lot about how to control the belt and how to do the big lifts and throws like that from him. Otherwise, when I'm at these tournaments, I'll take any pointers I can get. I'll watch what I can. But no, I don't really have a coach that watches the film with me and says, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Really me just looking at it and saying, okay, here's where I'm going wrong. What do I need to incorporate from the styles that I understand well? So when I'm drilling jiu-jitsu or anything with the gi, I go for a lot of the back grips and right where the mawashi is, and you use those for my takedowns just so I can practice.
Very cool.
That's amazing.
A lot of overlap there. You know, it's wrestling's wrestling, right? So like there's some stuff you can translate. That's cool.
Yeah. And obviously sumo is one of the most unique sports out there. There's nothing like it on the planet. So I have to take what I can get. But I've always been really good at the push outs as far as Greco and freestyle go. You get a point for it, or beach wrestling, it's first to 3 and you can get a point easy by push outs. So I've always trained for it. It's just how do you control your opponent on the edge of the ring to make sure your foot's not the one that goes out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That Tawara, the border around the ring is kind of the unique part of the playing field, I suppose.
And you see so many times where a sumotori is in the power position and they're going for the push out, or they're going for, just some kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this, but they inadvertently step out, they overextend. And then the guy that was, say, in the defensive position wins because they didn't step out. They maintain their composure in the ring.
Yeah. That ring awareness, a big part of it.
Yes.
Everyone in America has a loss like that they just look back on it and they're just like, oh my, I can't believe I did that. You look at, you can't really see it clearly on the film, but at the Iron Belly tournament down in Florida, Gilberto and I's match, he pushed me out, but he just overextended, stepped down before my back hit, and that's just sumo for you.
Yep.
And then I did the same exact thing later on to one of the new guys. I forgot his name, but one of the new Florida guys.
Sure. That's funny. Yeah. As far as one thing that you brought up there was like, anytime you're traveling, getting pointers from the guys, what has the community been like for you in sumo? We found it super welcoming. It's small enough that everybody's on the same team. Is that kind of the vibe you get? Oh,
100%. I come from a lot of other wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all that sort of sports. So the community, it's close, but it's, you've got your competitors on these other teams that you don't get along with, or you see these guys from Gracie on Six Blades and, oh, we can't hang out with them or anything like that. They're nice enough guys, but you're not friends with them.
Right.
Sure.
Sumo, especially being, as you guys called me, a Ronin, I go and I talk to Cornelius. I probably text once a month, just catching up how you guys are doing. Ryan White text all the time. Robert Funama, all these guys and we've got group chats just of us talking and, hey, what are you guys doing here? What are you guys doing here? How you been? So it's one of the closest communities, and it's really awesome how friendly everyone is, especially as you get to know them.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was when we came down to Austin to see everybody at nationals. It was just overwhelming how everybody's the same team. Like it's one of those things that's still small enough that like you can't afford to not get along with everybody, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that especially for you guys, you're really trying to bring the sport of sumo to as many people as possible. We're all huge fans, otherwise we wouldn't be competing in it. And we love seeing guys like you that are trying to bring it to as many people as possible in the easy way to digest with the podcast and having the YouTube videos and all that. It makes everyone wants to get to know everyone better, and we want to grow the sport as much as we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm getting over a bit of a cold, so
No,
Oh,
good.
no. As long as you keep complimenting us,
That's like, no,
do whatever you like over there. That's fine. No, that's it's such a you can't afford not to get along, because we all got to get the sport more popular before there's any room for egos that way.
But when you're there, though, when you're experienced, like when we were at nationals, just anytime we've been around other people associated with the amateur side or USA Sumo, there's just this, not only there's this positive energy, but there's this welcoming energy around there. And then once you guys get in the rings, you clash, you hit. I mean, it's brutal when you guys are going at it. But then afterward, you're helping the guy up. You're like, all right, how'd that go? You're laughing, you're picking them up like, that was pretty good. Like, this is cool.
Here's how I beat you.
Yeah, it's like, this is what I did, and I knocked you flat on your ass.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I love about combat sports at the end of the day is you can't have an ego. In football, you can still be like, oh, I'm going to kick your ass or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss on your show.
There goes our like family rating.
No, but like in football or basketball or anything, you can still go out there and you're like, oh, well, he can't beat me in a fight. That's what combat sports is. It's who can win and under this specific set of rules in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sumo, it's basically king of the hill or bull in the ring.
King of the ring. Yep.
Yeah. It's who can go out there and show them this is where I belong. Yeah. And so you go out against these guys and you watch, for example, at nationals, me and Robert's match, I end up losing to him. Give him a big old hug after, and then after I win in the open division, he comes over, we sprint, he gives me a big old bear hug, just lifts me off the ground. It's a great community, great guys. I love seeing it.
Yeah. Well, we'll certainly miss you in Vegas. We'll hope to see you to see you healthy and back in form early 22 maybe. But
please stay healthy.
Yeah. Quit doing jujitsu or those other
sports. I need to do this.
Yeah. No more jujitsu, no more judo, none of this crazy stuff. Just focus on sumo.
Got to make sure you're back there to defend your open weight title, get those wins back over Mark and such. But yeah, no, we really appreciate talking to you. What where can people find you to follow you on social media or just keep track of where you're at?
So TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, everything is at Sumo Nomad, SUMONOMAD, or Facebook, Kyle Ferriter. I try to talk to everyone. I'm very friendly, so don't be afraid.
I don't think I get that vibe. I'm sorry. That's not coming across here.
Okay,
yeah, Mac,
well, I'm sorry.
Mac, this
I'm
guy
try
seems
to
like
be
a
real
dick. I don't know.
I was about to say, this is a true introvert here, Jake. I don't get it.
Oh man, no, it's been lovely talking to you again. Stay healthy. The North American Sumo Championships will be December 11th in Vegas. Grand Sumo Breakdown will be there as like the MCs, the ring announcers, but you can also watch the live YouTube stream.
If
Kyle.
you don't want to travel to Vegas, I mean, really, come on.
Yeah. But if you like Kyle are doing other sports that get in the way of your sumo, you can watch it on YouTube. There will be Sumo Kaboom commentary on the YouTube stream. Find Grand Sumo Breakdown on social media and stuff. I mean, you're already listening to us. You know where to find us. And we'll catch you later. And thanks again for joining us, Kyle. It was a great time. And yeah, we'd love to have you again on here soon.
Thank you, guys. It was awesome talking to you.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high
and keep moving forward.